Hi, today I'm here for those mental health practitioners who are early in their career or still in grad school, and they are going to be graduating in the coming year, this coming year. And I just wanted to speak on a few different things. As I was recently asked by a newly graduated social worker, what would I advise her? Just give her some helpful tips or advice as she starts in her social work career, especially as I'm a social worker. And my first tip is specifically for those social workers who have taken the clinical track and you feel, especially now that you are out in your first position, that your program didn't adequately prepare you for the realities of therapy. And I just want to say that that's okay. To be quite honest, it wasn't meant to. You are not going to fully learn everything there is about therapy, all the different modalities, orientations, interventions. What you did learn is how to think. That is what your program was able to provide you. Social work is a very beautiful field. It is a very varied field. You can literally do whatever you want to do because of all the different things the program has educated you on and all the different types of ways it has prepared you to think, help you learn to think. So I want to just encourage you to reflect on that. Don't compare yourself to any of the other disciplines because that's not what social work is. You purposely got into social work for a reason. Think about that. Think about how this degree is very special. And one of the ways it is special is that it just is there to help you think in whatever situation that you come across. And that would be my first tip for all my new clinical track social workers. My second tip is that I would highly encourage you to, whatever way you can, fight imposter syndrome. And the best way I know how to fight it is to be very careful and mindful and intentional with the words you use to describe yourself and your experiences. Imposter syndrome is like that little person on the side, on your shoulder, whispering in your ear, trying to tell you all these things about yourself that isn't true. It's trying to make you think that you are less than. And I want to encourage you to realize that you didn't graduate school by some luck. You graduated based off of your hard work, your intelligence, your talents, your skills. Not everyone graduates school. And I want you to remember that. And I want you to remember each and every single thing that is unique to you and your skills. And use that to remind yourself of why you're in this field and why you are going to be great in this field. My third piece of advice would to never, and I really try not to say never, but never stop growing, never stop learning, and don't rule out any possibilities of what you might want to do. When I was early in my career, actually for the pretty much the majority of my career, I didn't want to be in management. I really never actively tried to go into management. It was never really on my radar. It was just something I never tried to seek out. I didn't network for it, and it just wasn't part of my just part of my career. It was, let me just say, it wasn't something I was trying to create an opportunity for. So I would say that last year I thought, you know what? I feel like I want something different. I want something that is going to be a challenge. And I decided that I wanted to go into management. And I went for it. I had a lot of support and I got it. And that's where I am today. And so in this particular role that I'm in, I absolutely love it. I love being in management. I feel like my purpose in management is to be a support to those in direct service. I just feel like this has been an opportunity for me to grow in my clinical skills in a different way that I really hadn't thought about. And I really enjoy that challenge that I've been given, that I went for, that I didn't rule out as a possibility. So I would just encourage you not to rule something out just because it's not something you want to do right now. Just just put it to the side, and it's just not something you're into right now. You may never want to be into that, but that's okay. Just put it to the side. Don't just think of it as something you will never do. Just leave the door open, and you may decide later on, like I did when I decided to go into management, that it is something that you would value. The fourth piece of advice that I would give someone coming into the mental health field is to never lose or think less of your foundational skills. Trust me, they come in handy. Even in management, my clinical skills have like come through on a daily basis. It is something that I don't really see that I won't use. And actually I just think that for specifically for me, because I'm a social worker, and the education that we get, you kind of see things in a different way. And that has really come through for me. It has really helped my management skills, and I'm really glad for that. And I won't lose them. I actively try to use them because they are such an important part of what we do. And when I say foundational skills, I mean just the simple engagement skills, learning to listen, not listen to respond, but listen to hear. You always want to be able to engage people. You always want to hear them and validate them. You always want to be unbiased in your response to people. You just simply want to be able to have that rapport and engagement to have the outcome that both of you would like to have. And that can only come as a result of you never losing your foundational skills. The fifth piece of advice that I would give to people just coming into the mental health field is to always make time for self-care. Self-care isn't always going to get your nails done or going to the gym. It's not always that. Self-care can simply just be you taking time to be in the moment, to just focus on what is presently going on around you instead of what is stressing you out. You will always have time to practice self-care. And I would really encourage all my fellow mental health practitioners to always, always, always make time for self-care every single day. It is so vitally important because we are so needed. So many people need mental health services in whatever form it is that you provide it, and they can't get it if we're not here. They can't get it if we are not well ourselves. So always make time to practice self-care so we can be present in the way that we want to be for our clients. And I have what you would probably call a bonus tip, which would be to never lose who you are. I always make sure I present myself authentically. I don't pretend to be someone else. When people meet me, I tell them straight up, hey, I'm a very straightforward person, and I also have a sense of humor, and I don't cut back on that. So my way of being in management, my way of providing therapy, because I still do that, even being in management, is to always authentically be myself. And that always shines through. And I feel like that is what makes me so successful as a social worker, because I never lose, or I have not lost who I am. And that would be the tips I have for everyone who is just in school to become part of the mental health profession, or for those who have just started out in their career. And I hope you found this helpful. And if you have, please leave me a comment if you have any questions or any thoughts on what I just said. If you have any additional tips or pieces of advice for anyone else in this profession. And I hope to talk to you guys soon.